Hello everyone, I am CA Harshit Shah and today I am going to explain you about the recently announced PSU bank merger. First, let's go a bit into the history. Over the last 3 to 4 years, you've seen that a lot of NPAs have come in the banking system. NPAs mean that people who have taken loans, they don't repay the loans. And when this happens, banks go into the PCA framework. When banks go into PCA framework, they cannot lend anymore. And when they can't lend anymore, people can't take loans. People can't take loans, they can't spend, which automatically affects the growth rate of our GDP. And we saw that on the 30th of August, the growth rate announced was 5%, which is a multi-year low. So the government has to do something to get these banks out of this mess. So a couple of years back, government took the first step called as bank recapitalization, where they put in or infused a lot of capital into the banks. I won't go in detail about bank recap. You can watch our video, and the link to that video on bank recap is given in the description. So once that bank recap was done, a lot of NPAs were still happening, because of which people couldn't get loans. So the next step to a bank recap ideally is merging of PSU banks, which was announced a couple of days back, and also I can say the first two mergers already happened last year. So State Bank of India and Bank of Baroda, their major mergers happened last year itself. So now, why are these which are the banks merged? So there are anchor banks and there are smaller banks. So anchor banks ideally are relatively much more stronger, and smaller banks are weaker banks. So the idea to merge them together is that when they are merged, they will become comparatively or relatively sound. Plus, it's very important that the banks which are merged, they work on the same banking software or the operating system, so that it's easier to operate these banks later on. So this merger was announced a couple of years back. Now you can look at the photo on the screen where all the details of the mergers which were announced 2 days back have been given. So the anchor banks for this specific merger were Punjab National Bank, Canara Bank, Union Bank of India and Indian Bank. And the smaller banks, the amalgamating banks were with PNB, we had Oriental Bank of Commerce and United Bank of India. With Canara Bank, we had Syndicate Bank. With Union Bank of India, it's Andhra Bank and Corporation Bank. And with Indian Bank, it is Allahabad Bank. And you can see the size of the bank after the merger. You can see the CBS. CBS is the banking software which they follow. So these are the details given about the merger in this photo. You can look at the photo properly. Now I'll be explaining you the various, I can say, advantages of this specific merger. So the government cited three major reasons for this merger. The first reason is increase in size of balance sheet. So when these banks are merged, the combined balance sheet is a much bigger balance sheet, which enables them to, I can say, fund much bigger projects. So it helps in the development of the country when these banks can fund bigger projects in an easier manner. The second reason they said is increase in efficiency. So they said that when these banks are merged, automatically the customers per branch will increase. I'll give you an example. Let's assume in Juice scheme we already have a branch of Punjab National Bank, a branch of Oriental Bank of Commerce and United Bank of India. Now, all these three banks, when they are merged, you can only have one branch of the merged bank, and the other two branches can be shifted to areas where their presence is not there a lot. So automatically the customers or the number of customers remain the same, but the presence, I can say that efficiency increases. The third thing is national presence. That is, so when these banks were made in a way that most of them had a regional based presence, like PNB had North India presence, Bank of Baroda had Western India presence. Now when these banks are merged, automatically different areas, the strengths are merged together and different areas come together. So their presence increases. The national presence, I can say, if there was one bank which was majorly Western India focused, now it can be national focused. That's the idea. So the national presence increases. So these are the three reasons cited by the government. Except for that, I feel that there are two more potential advantages of this merger. The first one is, I can say, increased ability to take in shocks. So as I told you about regional presence, let's assume that there was a bank which was regionally present a lot in Kerala. Over the last 2 years, we've seen huge floods in Kerala. So this bank would be massively affected because of the floods. There will be huge losses, NPAs, etc. So the shocks are sometimes so huge that the banks can't bear it. Now with a national presence and a bigger balance sheet, it's much more easier for these banks to take in these shocks and again come up from these bad times. The second reason is, I can say, easier for the government and RBI to monitor these banks. So originally there were 27 PSU banks. Now with this 10 banks, there are 10 heads of different banks which they have to, I can say, monitor, see that the reporting is proper, and I can say everything becomes easier when instead of 27 people, you have to talk to or understand only 10 people. So these are the two other advantages which I feel can happen. Now I talk to you about or explain you the challenges of this specific merger. What are the potential challenges that the government will face? The first and the biggest challenge is that increased size does not guarantee increased efficiency. And the biggest and the best example for this is SBI. So SBI is the biggest bank in India. It's much bigger than any other bank. But still, the efficiency is much more lower than any private sector bank. So an increase in size does not mean that the efficiency of the bank will increase. The second reason is synergies. So the biggest, very big challenge for any merger is synergies being created. Synergies means positive outcome. Now what happens is all these banks, when they are merged, their employees have a different work culture, they have a different way of reporting. Now with a merged bank, the lines of reporting will change. A lot of people will lose jobs in one area and be relocated to other areas where the merged banks are going to open branches. So it's very important that banking being a people-driven business, all the employees have to be treated in a very good way, have to be happy with the merger, should be satisfied with whatever is happening. Because if they are unsatisfied, their performance will automatically come down, which will again automatically bring the efficiency of the bank down. So if instead of if the banks keep on coming together, like they are merged and they still remain inefficient, it will just be like a pile of inefficient banks instead of synergies being created. So yeah, these were the challenges which I suppose the government will face in a seamless execution of the proposed merger of PSU banks. So I hope you have understood the reasons why this merger has been done, the advantages of the merger and the challenges the government will face. If you have any questions, you can note down the questions in the comment section. We'll be very happy to answer those queries and questions. Also, we keep on making such educative videos for all of you all. So if you like the video, if you're interested in seeing such more videos, do subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.